In this video, we're diving into one of the most powerful and misunderstood aspects of your entire personality. I'm talking about your shadow. Now, some people call it your inner child, but your shadow is really the parts of yourself that you don't even realize are holding you back from what you want in life. Your inner child is all those old emotions and traumas and habits that you learned growing up that have been suppressed and stored deep in your subconscious mind. So going into your shadow and accessing your inner child, it's kind of like unlocking a hidden chamber within yourself. Now, this vault is often where your greatest gifts are hidden, but it can be dark and scary too. To do this, you're going to have to go beyond surface level healing into the depths of your soul where your true self resides. You're going to have to face parts of yourself that have been ignored and repressed and misunderstood. You're going to confront emotions and memories that hide in these shadows of your mind, often stemming from your worst childhood experiences or traumas. And you're going to have to open up and discover the inner child that's hiding inside. Then you can begin to work on nurturing and healing this part of you. Finally, you're going to revisit your past from a place of strength and compassion, which will allow you to heal these old wounds. And that's crucial because these old wounds are directly impacting how you navigate your life today. Everything from your self-esteem to your creativity, from your relationships to your career success, these are all being run by this wounded child. But the best part is, by embracing this work, you're not only going to be revisiting the past, you're going to be reshaping your future. You're often going to be able to open new doors and create a life filled with authenticity and joy. To do this, we're going to peel back the layers and expose the roots of your shadows. Imagine your life as a garden. In the soil, you've got all these different seeds of your experiences. Some are good, some are bad. And as a child, some of these seeds grew and blossomed into beautiful flowers, while others remained buried, unnoticed, ignored. These shadows are born from moments of pain, misunderstanding, and neglect. They stem from times when you felt unseen, unheard, or unloved, whether in your family, at school, or in your early friendships. But these seeds didn't just disappear. They became a part of your inner being. And now they're shaping how you see the world, how you see yourself, and most importantly, how you react to situations around you. It could be a harsh word that one of your parents said in a moment of anger, and somehow it stuck with you.
Home sucks.
Hey, do you know how hard me and your mother worked for that home? Don't you ever say that, okay? You hear me? Tate.
I'm not gonna talk to you anymore.
Or maybe there was a moment of embarrassment, which seemed so big at the time that you wanted to hide forever.
I'm out of here.
Or maybe you had that feeling of just being left out, that you weren't part of the cool crowd, that you were pushed aside and ridiculed. To an adult, these experiences might seem small and inconsequential, but to a child, they were monumental. And understanding the roots of these shadow wounds is crucial. It gives you a map to the parts of your psyche that need attention and care the most. It shows you where to start digging and how to uncover your true inner strength and self-confidence. As we move forward, I suggest using a journal or notebook. Not all the answers will come to you right away. So having a place to keep track of your thoughts and your feelings, something to look back on, this is going to be crucial. First off, we're going to need to identify your shadow wounds because what you can't see, you can't heal. Start by reflecting on your emotional triggers. What sets you off? Maybe it's a certain tone of voice, a particular phrase, or even a specific situation. Do you get social anxiety and freeze up around big groups? Or is there a certain person in your life who knows exactly how to push your buttons?
Hey! Phil? Phil? Hey! Phil Connors!
Ned?
These are clues that lead you down the path to your childhood wounds. Think about a recent time when you overreacted or you felt defensive. Ask yourself, why did this affect me so much? Often, The intensity of our reactions doesn't match the situations at hand, and that's the shadow at play, echoing this pain and fear. To identify these scars, I want to share a personal story. Look, when I was very young, I used to feel intensely jealous when my closest friends found success. It was so bad that I couldn't even celebrate their success because I was so caught up in my frustration that it wasn't my success. It was all I could think about. This pattern played out on the basketball court, in school, even playing video games. But in reality, it wasn't about their success. It was a reflection of my own insecurities. My jealousy was a shadow. I felt inadequate and that I needed to prove my worth. It took a long time and a lot of journaling to see how my parents' divorce had affected me. As a child, I had taken responsibility for it. I somehow told myself that if I did more and succeeded more, I could fix it, when in reality, it had nothing to do with me. Your wounds can be hard to make sense of, so just start by writing down your feelings. No matter how uncomfortable or confusing they are, it's in this discomfort that your shadow lies. By bringing these feelings to light, you're taking the first step towards healing that inner child and finding your true self. Next, it's time to show you one of the most transformative tools I know for soul healing: self-compassion. This is about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend. You've identified your shadow wounds. Now it's time to embrace them with empathy, forgiveness, patience. So I'm going to guide you through a simple yet powerful exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your younger self, the child who experienced those moments of hurt and confusion. Now, as your adult self, what would you say to them? Perhaps, "I understand why that hurt you so much. You didn't deserve it, and I'm here for you." Or maybe, "That wasn't your fault. You did the best you could, and I'm proud of you." This is an act of self-dialogue that is incredibly healing. Remember, you're talking to a child, not an adult. Depending on how early the wound happened, you might not even be able to speak. In any case, they definitely didn't have the tools or the understanding to cope with those difficult experiences. As an adult, you now have the wisdom and capacity to offer support, understanding, help, and love to those parts of yourself. As a child, I often felt overlooked in my family. I carried this feeling of invisibility into my teenage years, affecting my relationships and my self-esteem. Through self-compassion, I learned to acknowledge those feelings and to reassure my inner child that he is seen and valued. Embracing self-compassion does not mean ignoring or glossing over your pain. Your pain is real, and you can't heal it by pretending it's not there. Rather, it's about acknowledging it and understanding that suffering is a part of the human experience. Everybody suffers in their own ways. But by simply understanding that, you can bring a sense of togetherness, a realization that you're not alone in your struggles. Self-compassion is also about being mindful of your inner critic. Now that's the little voice that keeps telling you you're not good enough or you should have done better. Thoughts like these need to be recognized as an echo of your past judgments, not the truth about who you are today. By nurturing your inner child with compassion and understanding, you start to break the cycle of self-criticism and embrace a more loving and accepting relationship with yourself. This shift not only heals old wounds, but it opens the door to a more confident and content life. Now that you've found and acknowledged your wounds, it's time to transition from awareness into action. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of specific techniques that you can use to resolve trauma and maintain your progress. Now, these are strategies that are practical and available to everyone, so you can start your own journey toward healing right away. I'm going to touch on each of them quickly, but if you want to know more about them, let me know in the comments down below, and if enough people are interested, I'll do a more in-depth video on this. Okay, so the first technique has changed my life more than any other self-help discovery I have ever come across, and that is the power of hypnosis. Now, hypnosis gets past that gatekeeper in your mind, and it goes directly to work on the operating system of your life. Hypnosis has led me to success in business, online, and in my personal life. It conditioned my mind to become a multimillionaire by the age of 30, and I still use it on a weekly basis. In fact, I just spent $2,000 to get 4 weeks of hypnosis work with my favorite hypnotist. That is how strongly I believe in this. But I promised you that these strategies would be available to anyone, which is why you can download a free copy of my incredibly popular Success Hypnosis MP3 by going to jakeshypnosis.com or clicking the link in the description. That way you can begin to condition your mind anytime you want, just like over 600,000 members of our community have. Now, the next technique is called guided imagery. This is where you begin to visualize a safe space that you can meet your inner child. You want to create an environment that feels comforting and nurturing. Then we're going to go into the space and interact with that inner child. You're going to listen, comfort, and often reassure them. I have a few other videos where I lead you through specific guided meditation sequences, and I'm going to make sure to link to one at the end of this video. Now, another really helpful technique is to do a role-playing or dialogue exercise. This can be as simple as standing in front of a mirror and just having a conversation with your younger self. You want to acknowledge their pain, offer words of comfort, encouragement, and validate their experiences. This practice is going to help you recognize and address the emotional needs that were not met in the past. Plus, it's a really great way to increase your empathy, which is going to benefit you in all areas of life. Now, along with empathy, one of the most powerful healers is gratitude. It's true. By just reflecting on things that you're grateful for, like the progress that you've made in your healing journey or all the loving people you have in your life, you're going to shift your focus from pain to appreciation. Now, by appreciating where you are, you can see that you wouldn't be here if not for some of those painful moments in your past. So this is going to give you that strength you need to help release them. Also, depending on what you discover when doing this work, don't be afraid to seek some support from a therapist, especially one who specializes in trauma and inner child work. Now, while many of these techniques are going to focus on healing and loving yourself, it can be incredibly valuable to have another person listen, validate, and empathize. Finally, as with any behavior change, you're going to have to celebrate the small victories. Recognize your progress, no matter how small, and this will reinforce the positive changes and give you motivation to continue growing. You should also make sure to regularly check in with yourself about your emotions and triggers. Are you starting to see behaviors that remind you of past trauma responses? Stay connected with like-minded individuals who understand your journey, continue to journal, and reread your entries. Don't forget, healing is not linear. There's going to be ups and downs, and that's okay. By doing this work, you're getting the opportunity to live with more authenticity, more joy, and a greater sense of peace. To experience greater success in all areas of your life, embrace these changes. Let them guide you towards that life you've always wanted. And if you're already ready to take another step in your journey, I want you to click up here and do my guided meditation, which is perfectly aligned to help with your inner child work. It's going to provide you with a safe and nurturing space to continue your exploration and your healing.